I don't know about you, but when I think of meal prep, I picture rows and rows of takeout containers filled with the typical brown rice, unseasoned chicken breast, and steamed broccoli. But that's not all that meal prep has to be. And so in this video, I want to share my take on meal prep, specifically Indian meal prep. Today, I'll show you my go-to meal prep combo: rice with a lentil stew called dal and crispy okra. Indian food is perfect for this because it stores well in the fridge, it's easy to make in bulk, and it usually comes together in one pot. And growing up, even though we didn't call it meal prep, that's basically what my parents did. They'd make like 2 or 3 curries at a time, and we'd reheat that for dinner throughout the week. And that's the same meal prep approach that I took with me once I moved out on my own. Because even though I was blessed with free breakfast, lunch, and dinner at work, what I really craved was home-cooked food. And so I'd call up my parents and ask them for their recipes and tips, and then every Sunday night I'd make 1 or 2 curries. Then I'd reheat those curries throughout the week, and so to this day, this is a ritual that stuck with me. And so whether you are an ABCD like me, or you want to set yourself up with healthy vegetarian meals for the week, this video is for you. Here's what you'll need, and all of the exact quantities will be listed down below in the description. Now, for the dal or lentil stew, you'll need a type of lentil called toor dal. This is also called yellow split peas or split pigeon peas, some aromatics, onions, green chilies and garlic, tomato, cilantro, a few whole and ground spices, and unless you're brave enough to use a real pressure cooker, you'll also need an Instant Pot to cook the lentils. And then for the crispy okra, you'll need some more spices, onion and garlic, and then my veggie of choice, okra. But if you don't like okra, you can use almost any vegetable here, like green beans, eggplant, carrot, spinach, cabbage, or beets. And pro tip, if you're short on time, you can buy the frozen variety instead. All right, let's start cooking. And start to finish, this recipe will take 1.5 to 2 hours to make and will last 5 to 6 servings. Starting with prep, slice the okra into small bite-sized pieces around 1/4 inch wide. And then for everything else, just give it a rough chop. And here's a tip that I learned when I started cooking. If you notice that your cutting board is sliding around when you're chopping, just add a damp paper towel underneath the cutting board and no more sliding. First things first, the dal. Rinse and soak the lentils with plenty of water. While it soaks, heat a tablespoon of oil in the Instant Pot set to sauté mode on medium heat. Once the oil is hot, add the whole spices and some hing. This step is called tempering, which means cooking spices in hot oil to enhance their flavor. About 30 seconds later, you'll be able to smell the spices. At that point, add the onions, garlic, and green chili, as well as half a teaspoon of salt to help the onions soften. Let this cook for 4 minutes until the onions become slightly transparent. Then add the tomato and cook for another minute. Finally, let's add the lentils. So drain the lentils and add them to the Instant Pot along with 3 cups of water and some turmeric powder for that bright yellow color. To cook, secure the lid on the Instant Pot, switch to pressure cook, and cook for 15 minutes on high. So this will take some time to cook, about 30 minutes. While you wait, you can clean some dishes, set up the rice, watch some Netflix, or if you're really ambitious, you can start on the okra fry. Typically, I do tend to make the dal and the fry in parallel just to save some time, but since this is an educational video, I'll first show you how to make the dal, and then I'll show you how to make the fry. All right, and then 30 minutes later, the dal is done. And you can tell because the label on the Instant Pot will have an L on it, and that L, I just learned this, stands for lapse time. So give the dal a good stir and then add some ground spices, coriander powder, chili powder, and a teaspoon of salt. Give it a taste and then add some more salt in small increments until it suits your taste. Top with cilantro and the dal is done. Now onto the okra fry. Heat a wide skillet on medium with 2 tablespoons of oil. Then add the whole spices and hing. Once the spices start dancing in the oil, which will take around 30 seconds, add the onions, garlic, and half a teaspoon of salt. Let this cook for 4 minutes until the onions start to soften. Then add the okra or your veggie of choice. Give everything a good mix so the onions are well incorporated. And from here, we're really just gonna let this sit and cook for quite a while until the veggies almost become charred. Just be sure to stir every 5 minutes or so to prevent sticking. And if the fry ever does look like it's getting burnt or really getting stuck to the pan, add a teaspoon of oil or even some water to deglaze the pan. About halfway through cooking, which is about 20 minutes later, add some spices: turmeric, coriander powder, and a teaspoon of salt. This isn't a ton of spice compared to other recipes because we really want the okra to shine. 15 to 20 minutes after that, the fry is starting to look done. So give it a taste and add some more salt if needed, and then the stew is done. And here it is. Here is our authentic South Indian vegetarian meal prep. In my mother tongue, Telugu, we call this pappu and bendakaya fry, served with freshly cooked basmati rice. This is the ultimate Indian comfort food, and I'm not kidding, I could eat a version of this meal every single day for the rest of my life. The dal is thick and creamy but still light, and the fry is a little saltier, and it kind of adds some texture and contrast to the dal. I like to mix a little of both with rice and eat with my hands. And while I did pack these up in these little meal prep containers for the thumbnail, typically I do just store the dal and the fry in Tupperware in the fridge, and then every night I'll take a little bit, reheat it on my plate with some freshly made rice. As much as I love dal, it can get a little boring, so to add some variety throughout the week, I'll change up two things: the carb and the side dish. My default carb is basmati rice, but if I want to change things up, I might heat up a frozen chapati or even a tortilla. For side dish, I'll add some chips. Specifically, the Trader Joe's ghost pepper chips are amazing. Or I'll add a South Indian classic, mango pickle, but be careful, a little does go a long way. Besides that, I might also add like a fried egg for protein. Now, I wanna know, where do you stand on meal prep? Do you love it, or do you hate the idea of eating the same thing every single day? And if you don't meal prep, then what do you do for dinner? Do you like to order out? Or do you cook something fresh every day? In which case, kudos to you. And if you do meal prep, I'd love to know what your favorite dishes are to meal prep. Let me know down below, and also let me know if you like these types of meal prep videos, and I can definitely make a lot more of them. So yeah, if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel to support, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hello. And hi Yogi, not bad. Are you gonna make a cameo?